Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you the morning after what was a very, very convincing win for Arsenal last night against Newcastle at the Emirates. A lot of fun that was, wasn't it? Hasn't been too many performances this season which were quite so dominant as that one. Arsenal from the start absolutely all over Newcastle. Had to wait, bide their time, be patient. Couple of missed chances in the first half, but once they made the breakthrough early in the second, through Aubameyang, that was it. There was only going to be one winner, and in the end they ran out very comfortable victors. 5 wins out of their last 6 games, 1 goal conceded in that time, 13 goals scored. Arsenal are on a very nice little run at the moment, and I thought last night we certainly saw signs of Arteta's blueprint for how he wants his side to work going forward. It's been a long time coming, really, in terms of how you really saw Arteta's vision. I think that's why he's had a fair bit of criticism recently since the start of the season. It's like, where are you seeing him going? You know, what's his style? What's he trying to do here? And understandably so, because Arsenal have been pretty poor, or very poor, most of the season. But you're just beginning to see signs now. You know, he's settled on the back four, which is what he always wanted to do. He was always worried, though, he didn't have the midfielders to be able to do that. But he's changed to it recently. And now he's got Thomas Partey in front of him as well. And now yesterday I thought was the first real sign of the new look Arsenal, the Arsenal of the future, really. You got the solid back four who aren't conceding goals. You've got Xhaka and Partey together in the central midfield, protecting the back four, and more importantly, starting the transition off to attack as we saw last night. And then you've got a fluent front four with Smith Rowe as the number 10, Saka interchanging, Aubameyang back in the goals. And it's just, I just thought, watching it last night, I thought that is exactly what Arteta has wanted for a long, long time. That's how he sees his Arsenal, the 4-2-3-1 type formation. Like I said, solid at the back, dominant in midfield, and a fluent interchange in front four. I'm not saying that this can't be improved, because I think it certainly can. I think certainly in the transfer market in the summer, you're going to see Arsenal trying to improve on what they've got in terms of players wise in some of the areas, but that is the vision of what he wants to play in the future. And signs last night was certainly suggesting that Arsenal are on the right, heading in the right direction. And it's been a difficult season. We've all had to endure some pretty poor performances, some very poor performances, in fact, some dreadful defeats. Just a lack of threat in front of goal, a lack of movement. But we're beginning to see signs now that Arsenal are growing under Mikel Arteta, and they're beginning to shape in the team that he really, really wanted. Smith Rowe excellent again last night. Saka excellent. Partey was fantastic. Xhaka I thought was fantastic as well, playing really, really well. Cedric Soares came in, and I thought he was great on the right-hand side of the defence. Really put pressure on Hector Bellerin now, which I think, to be fair, he should have had a look in the league beforehand, Cedric, because he's done well in the Europa League. I don't think Hector's pulled up any trees on the right side of the defence. He needed a little bit of pressure. Cedric certainly applied that with his performance last night, so it'll be interesting to see who starts at right back in the next Premier League game. But yeah, I mean, everyone was very happy, as you can understand. Afterwards, he spoke to Mikel Arteta. He was delighted. And on the improvement, he says, look, we always say that winning is the best thing for any collective team or any individual as well. But for us to get in the momentum that we are with the clean sheets, that was our 5th in a row. We have managed to do that. The fact we are scoring goals now and everything is more fluid. The energy, the cohesion around the team and the spirit is better. So I'm glad, but we have to maintain that run and keep going. There's still a lot of things we have to do better and improve. But overall, I'm really pleased with how we're playing at the moment. And he should be pleased, like I said, because after what has been a very difficult few months for Arsenal, there are signs now that they are heading in the right direction. It's got to be said, they haven't played the best teams during this recent run. Form for Newcastle were awful last night. They're certainly heading for relegation battle. West Brom as well, we know that, but they did beat Chelsea, remember. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do when they come up against better sides in the league in the coming weeks, because they have got a tough little run of fixtures coming up. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that. Thomas Partey's performance last night was just so exciting, I thought, because look, he wasn't outstanding. I thought Granit Xhaka actually was better in midfield. I thought Xhaka absolutely ran the show in that midfield, as he has done in recent weeks. Actually, Xhaka's playing very, very well, deserves a lot of credit. But I thought Partey, considering he's only really played, I'm only going to say 25 minutes, because even against Tottenham, when he played that first half, you know, he was injured, clearly not right. So he's basically only really played, when fit, he's played 25 minutes in the last 2 months. And for him to come in last night on his first start and perform like that and play like that for 67 minutes, so exciting, bodes so well for the future. I thought he was great. You know, barely gave the ball away. I think it was 3 unsuccessful passes all night, 58 passes, 55 of them were successful. Got himself an assist. I think he won the ball back about 9 times. You know, it was just a really, really impressive first game in a couple of months for someone who's not even adjusted and up to speed in the Premier League yet. And what that says for the future, when he's only going to get better, because he is, it's clearly going to get better. The more he settles, the more he adjusts to the Premier League, the more he adjusts to Arsenal and his teammates, he's just going to get better and better. So it was so exciting to watch him last night. Mikel Arteta after the game said, look, we have been missing Tommy and his presence. He has this aura that makes him a special player. Hopefully we can keep him fit, because we can all see the difference he makes on the side. And I think he was growing and getting better and better as the game was growing and evolving. He was asked then, you know, can he be given more freedom to express himself? Because I think we saw last night how good he can be when he's on the ball. I mean, the pass for Aubameyang's goal, not just the pass, but the movement to earn himself some space and then deliver the pass was just so impressive. And we've seen flashes of that since he's been here. That in terms of it's not just about breaking up the play and being this destructive presence in midfield. Yes, he can do that, but he can do a hell of a lot more as well. We saw that last night. We've seen it before, and Mikel says there's more to come as well. He says, yes, of course he can do that. Technically, he's more than capable of doing that, and he's great in both transition moments as well. It will take him some time to understand a different way of thinking or doing things than he was doing with his previous team he was involved in. He has all the characteristics that we need to make us better, that's for sure. His dynamism, his physicality, his creativity, and the presence that nature has given him. You have that person on the pitch and you're able to dominate a game when it is needed, and Thomas has that quality. You know, look, we've all been waiting for Thomas to come back, get himself fit, and what we saw last night was just really, really impressive, I thought, and very, very exciting for the future. I've been saying for a while now, he will transform this Arsenal team. I'm absolutely convinced at both ends of the pitch. They've needed a presence like him in field for years. You know, go back to Gilberto Silva, basically since he left. They've needed someone like that in midfield. Now they've got him. Now he's fit. And you're just really excited about what he's going to bring, and him and the sort of partnership that him and Xhaka can put together between now and the end of the season. We've got to talk about the youngsters. What a performance again last night from Saka and Smith Rowe. They just get better and better and better. Mikel leaving out senior players, and you can absolutely see why. The senior players haven't done it for him this season. Willian, Pepe just haven't performed. Saka and Smith Rowe absolutely deserving their place in the team, and they're only getting better and better. I mean, you look at the stats for them. Smith Rowe especially, I think it's 5 assists and 2 goals in 10 games for Arsenal this season. 3 assists since Boxing Day. No one else in the Premier League has got that many. Only Bruno Fernandes has created more chances than him in the Premier League since Boxing Day. I mean, it's fantastic. 3 of his assists for Saka as well since Boxing Day. Saka's goals against Chelsea, West Brom, and last night, all set up by Smith Rowe. That partnership they've got, the understanding they've got, it's almost telepathic. It's fantastic. In the first half, you saw it with the chance when Aubameyang hit the post when Saka's shot was saved. The link-up play between Smith Rowe and Saka to create that opportunity as well, just fantastic. Really, really exciting. And you know, the two of them are just very, very special. And Mikel was asked about them, and he said, look, it's never an easy decision to leave out senior players because we're talking about big players, but at the end I have to manage the football players who have moments in their career and their season, and to be fair, when someone is performing, it doesn't matter what his profile or his age is. I think they deserve to play. They were really good again last night, and I'm really pleased with what they are bringing to the team. Look, you can't leave Smith Rowe and Saka out at the moment. I think you probably will at the weekend because Arsenal are in the FA Cup. And I wouldn't be surprised if we give them a little bit of a rest and focus on the league game against Southampton, which follows a few days later. That's how important they are now. You know, before, not long ago, these are the sort of games where you'd expect in the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe to play in the Cup. Not now. They are very much firmly established in the Premier League. And they are bringing, I mean, they've made such a difference to Arsenal's season. You go back to, you know, Chelsea when Smith Rowe was brought in. Before that, it was all doom and gloom. You think to the Everton match just before Christmas, you know, it was all looking terrible for Arsenal. Then bang, you bring Smith Rowe into the team. Everything changes because he brings that enthusiasm. He plays on the half turn. No one else does that in the Arsenal team. you saw with the goal that he set up for Saka yesterday, as soon as he received that pass, that was it. It was driving forward. There was no other thought in his mind. There wasn't a thought about passing the ball sideways or passing it backwards, killing the momentum. It was about, how do I hurt Newcastle? Straight down the left, straight at his man, beat him, perfect cross, begging to be put in, and Saka finished it off. And just really, really exciting. And it sort of begs the question now, what do you do in the transfer window? Because, you know, Edu's admitted before that creative midfielder, that was Arsenal's priority. Edu said that while talking to the Arsenal Fans Forum fairly recently. We've all been waiting for Arsenal to sign a creative midfielder. They have been looking. It is their priority this transfer window. But what do you do now? What is the point? I've said it before. If it's only going to be a loan, which all indications are at the moment that it would be because of the financial issues Arsenal are in, what's the point of bringing in a loan? Maybe bring him in as cover for Smith Rowe, but certainly don't bring him in and suddenly chuck him in front of Smith Rowe. It's like, you know, if you're going to get a loan player now, you're only going to get him because A, he's not in his team wherever his current team is. B, if he's abroad, you're going to have to give him about a month's time to settle into the Premier League, and by that time there's only a few months left of the season. You're going to have to pay wages as well. It's just like, for me, it's just beginning to feel like, what's the point? Play Smith Rowe now until the end of the season. He has clearly shown he's good enough. Yes, there are going to be times when he goes a little bit off the boil. He's young, you've got to take him in and out of the team. But then you move things around. Look, you play Willian, you move Saka into the number 10 role and play Pepe or Willian on the right. You know, you do something. I think it would be the worst thing if Arsenal went out and brought in someone on loan, say an Isco, someone like that, and chucked him in front of Emile Smith Rowe now. I think he's in such a good moment that you play him, you keep playing him, and you manage him, yes, but you keep him as first choice. I'm not convinced at all now Arsenal really need to go out and buy and get someone in on loan just for the sake of it. A few weeks ago, when it didn't look like Arteta was going to be trusting Smith Rowe, then yes, I think they probably needed to do something. But now Smith Rowe has shown he can do it in the Premier League. He's shown he can do it consistently, and he shows what he's bringing to the team. So I just don't want to see perhaps what you'd call an ageing player who's underperformed in recent years, who's not been playing much regular football, suddenly brought in just for the sake of it on loan to add to the numbers, add to the squad numbers. I think it could be really detrimental to Smith Rowe's development, and at the moment he's showing that development is only going one way, and you don't want to suddenly, you know, halt that, or even worse, send it back down again. So I think they've got to be really, really careful when it comes to the transfer market, Arsenal now, between now and the end of the transfer window, when it comes to signing a creative player. A few other little tidbits to talk about from last night. Mikel was asked about, obviously, Mesut Ozil. He's over in Turkey at the moment. The deal hasn't actually been officially announced yet, but he's been having his medical, giving interviews and stuff. We're just waiting for the formalities to be sorted. Arsenal, I don't know if they'll announce first that his contract has been cancelled, and then Fenerbahce will announce that Ozil's signed, or if the two will sort of combine things and do it all in one big announcement. We'll have to wait and see on that, but it'll be coming very, very soon, potentially today. By the time you watch this video, it might have even been announced. Mikel was asked about him. He said, look, Mesut is in Turkey and he's going through the medical, which has to be completed, and there's some paperwork that has to be done, but it doesn't matter. Mesut's quality will be missed because he is a very special player that had a big history in this football club, and the deal, when it happens, I will give my clear opinion on that. So more to come from Mikel about Mesut Ozil's future. We will be speaking to him on Thursday morning, I think it is, ahead of the FA Cup game, and hopefully everything will have been announced by then, and we'll be able to get the full sort of comments on Mikel for why it was done, his thoughts on it all, and that sort of thing. But nice words from Mikel on him, because look, we all know I've had my say on Mesut Ozil, we all have, but one thing can't be doubted is his talent, and he's certainly given us plenty of enjoyable moments over his 7.5-year Arsenal career. Little bit on Aubameyang, obviously another couple of goals last night. That's 4 and 6 for him now after what's been a really difficult season. He's beginning to score goals, and look, when Aubameyang scores goals, Arsenal are a much better team. He showed that again last night. And Mikel had some words about him, said, look, this is what he's done his whole career, and mentally you have to be really strong in order to do that, to come back from difficult moments and come out a difficult period where we will miss his goals a lot. He has come back, he's scored 2, contributed to the team winning, which is exactly what we need. I'm really pleased for him. Delighted to see Aubameyang back in the goals. He did go off yesterday, he had a chance to get a hat-trick, but he had to go off. Unfortunately, he had what Mikel described as a stomach issue, which basically transcribes as he needed to go to the toilet pretty quickly, so he had to be substituted, which is a shame because he could well have got himself a hat-trick, but not to be the case. When nature calls, and just the only good thing was it happened right at the end of the match. A little bit on Lucas Torreira's future before I go. Edu gave a bit of I'm not sure you call it an interview, but he spoke to AS over in Spain about Torreira yesterday. He said the situation is very simple. Arsenal are concerned about Torreira. First and foremost, his happiness, that he plays and that he's happy. We want to know about him, how he feels, and after that, what Atletico think. For us, Lucas and his happiness is what's most important. If everyone is happy, we will continue where we are now. If Lucas is not happy, we will look for a change, because there are many teams that are calling me to ask about the player's situation. So I've talked about this before. If Atletico aren't planning on using Torreira, or they're only using him bit part between now and the end of the season, Arsenal really should get him back and get him out to one of the other clubs that are knocking on Edu's door at the moment. Clubs in Italy want him, clubs in Spain want him. And so what's the point in him just sitting on the bench in Atletico? Because all his time, his value is plummeting for Arsenal. You know, if they want to sell him in the summer, which they do, then you need him playing between now and the end of the season to protect his value and to catch the eye of clubs. If he's sitting on the bench for Atletico, it's not doing anyone any favours. It's not doing Torreira any favours. It's not doing Atletico any favours, really, because they're paying his wages, but they're not using him. And it's not doing Arsenal any favours, because if you want to sell your player in the summer, you want to make sure that he's in the shop window, he's playing well, and that clubs want him, and that his price goes up. If he's sitting on the bench all day, then his price is only going one way, and that's not up. It's very much down, and you're wasting another year of his contract. So Arsenal need to make a decision very quickly on Torreira. They are in discussions with him and Atletico, and we'll have to wait and see what they do about that. But my opinion on it all, as I've said before, is Arsenal need to get him back and get him out on loan, as I think they need to do with players like Reece Nelson as well, and potentially Callum Chambers, or even Ainsley Maitland-Niles, which is quite interesting. Mikel speaking about him yesterday, because he wasn't even in the matchday squad yesterday. He played against Palace last time out, had a bit of a shocker, was dragged off in the second half, not even in the squad yesterday. He was asked about him and how difficult, is it for him at the moment, not playing regularly. Turned down bids for him in the summer, and he said, look, he needs to compete for his place like everyone else. There are a lot of players who have been left out of the squad, and they have had less minutes. Ainsley has played some minutes in the league, he's played a lot of minutes in the Europa League, he's played in the Cup, he's played in semi-finals and finals for us. So it's about him, his performances, and how much he wants to be in the team. So Mikel sort of laying down the law a little bit to Ainsley there, saying, look, if you want to get back in the side, you want to start playing regularly, then you've got to show me that you warrant your place in the team. Certainly his performance against Crystal Palace last time out wasn't going to do him any favours. You do have to caveat that a little bit. It was his first league game in a fairly long time. But it'll be a shame if Ainsley ends up leaving in the summer. Arsenal turned down pretty big offers for him last summer, certainly from Wolves. Now he's not playing that much. Are they going to get that sort of money again next summer on the table? You probably don't think they will. So difficult situation for Arsenal and for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and one that everyone will want to resolve when it comes to the summer. That's about it from me. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'm planning, I want to try and do a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A for a while, so keep looking out on my Twitter, because when I find the time to do it, I'll put a question out, and you can reply with your questions, comments, opinions to that, and I'll try and get them involved in the Q&A. So look out for that one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a very good day. Congratulations to India in the cricket. If you're watching from India, fantastic start to the morning, seeing you beat the Aussies like that. Absolutely delighted. Yeah, I will catch you all very soon. Bye-bye.